and 8 seconds gone. Now let's go to 1A, where we have a tussle here between Doren Montgomery in the red, he's on the bottom there, and Scott Silverstein of East Buchanan.
Yeah, we're going into the second period right now,
and Silverstein's leading. 2-0. And Nielsen ended Darren Chip's undefeated year in Double-A. John Nielsen of Lake Mills won a fall over Darren Chip of Carlisle.
There's a nice switch by Silverstein. Did a nice inside switch and came out for the escape.
He leads 3-0. Lisbon has crowned 2 champions. As a team championship, all locked up. They had it won before they ever showed up in the arena tonight. Well, in fact, they've won more than that. They 3 champions already, because Dean Happel was also a champion earlier.
That's a position that the official determines as neither man's making much improvement, so he calls it a stalemate. It won't be that much. Again, they probably would call one of those guys for stalling, saying, let's get going.
We have 1:08 to go. Warning both ways. Referee Dwight Spangler.
Now he's got in that body lock where he's got both of the arms locked around the body. And if he can get him up a little bit so he's got straight body, give him a chance. And here what he wants to do is pull him down and get him off his feet. He wants to pull him down to his knees.
37 seconds. I think they're going to call him again.
If he keeps calling that fast, neither one of these guys is going to go all the way through, because there's not enough time unless they start wrestling aggressively. Got the arm too high. Man from Lisbon was able to just shuck him on by.
But they're awfully close to the edge. It's Montgomery's trying to keep him in. He did. And it's a 4-3 match now. That's the first takedown for Montgomery.
Well, that's one of those ones where Scott Silverstein needed to try to wrestle him out of there rather than go to the edge to get out of there. Trying to go to the edge, he lost the position and as a result lost the takedown.
18 seconds to wrestle in the second period. Montgomery on the top goes to the tight waist of the arm. He can't keep Silverstein from sitting out and turning in. He comes around.
Done a real nice job there. He's got in behind and picked the ankle up. So he scored not only an escape but a reversal, I believe.
Right, 7-3.
So it was an escape and a takedown.
7-3 in favor of Silverstein. It tightened up there, 4-3, and Montgomery let it get away from him. That's the end of the period. Second period over, third period yet to come. This is the last match of this tournament. Unless we worked our way up to an overtime situation, the last period of the wrestling season in the Iowa high schools this year.
Here you see the official cautioning the top man because he started prior to the whistle. Bottom man has to get down and get set. Then the top man assumes the position. He can't move prior to the whistle or he gets cautioned. He's kind of letting him get to his feet.
7-4 now as Montgomery comes out. He has 3 points to make up.
This Montgomery is a scrapper. He's not a real big heavyweight, but he scraps real hard. And this score is far from too far out of his range. And he can make up these points if he just gets started. Montgomery
had a 31-second fall in his first round match in the state tournament over John Doyle of Woodbury Central. And then he had 2 one-point decisions. He had some very tough ones.
Well, he's the young man, even with his size, he's the young man that beat the 400-and-some-pound heavyweight from North Central. You see, there he was just given a point for stalling, so it makes it 7-5.
Now it's only a takedown away.
That's right, and if he keeps going hard there, he's awful close right there. So he got into the position, he's going to get this thing.
7-7. But he's awfully high. Now he comes out all right. We have a minute left to go in this match, and it's all even. 7-7.
Silverstein's trying to build up to his base. The young man from Lisbon might want to take that away from him. See?
Now he has Silverstein pretty flat. He needs to tip him. And he needs to keep him from getting out with 41 seconds to go. Knotted up. Whoa.
A little bit of fatigue involved right here. He didn't react. That's a pretty good sign that fatigue is there.
Silverstein won the fastest fall in this tournament. He had a 14-second fall in his first match in the tournament.
Now he's got a head and arm, but I don't think there's enough of a leverage there for him to be successful with it.
Well, I'll tell you, the only way this match will keep away from overtime right now is if Silverstein can somehow find the strength to get up and out. Now they called that a stalemate, so that gives Silverstein 5 seconds to get himself together here. A few seconds to get himself together and 5 seconds to get out.
He's been successful with that maneuver in the past.
Not this time.
Not this time. Didn't get the hands broken.
So it's an overtime. Well, what we said might happen, but I didn't really think would happen, did happen.
Well, it looked at the time like he had a big lead, but he's aggressive, and he stayed after him. And the other guy, Silverstein, started slowing down a little bit.
Well, as we said earlier, there's another exciting wrestling event coming up here on Iowa Public Television. It's a USA-USSR showdown between members of the World Cup teams. The Russian World team will be over here. We'll see them on March 30th in Cedar Rapids. We'll have public television coverage. One-day delay at 10:30 p.m. the next night, Thursday, March 31st. It should have an Iowa flavor, too. There's a lot of past and present University of Iowa wrestlers, among other people. Dan Gable and Jay Robinson will be the coaches, all participants in the World Cup trials earlier in March. So to enjoy the top wrestlers in the world, not just in the state of Iowa or the United States, top wrestlers in the world join Iowa Public Television for the USA against USSR on Thursday, March 31st at 10:30 p.m. Here we go. The overtime, 1 minute period, followed by another 1 minute period, followed by a third 1 minute period, barring a fall. Montgomery in the red behind you, but he's back to you is the Lisbon youngster, Scott Silverstein of East Buchanan, just got taken down.
Well, there was a lot of fatigue in the end of that match. You saw Silverstein kind of run out of gas at the end of that last match. And 1 minute rest may recoup you for about a minute, but believe me, once you're out, there isn't any way you can recruit even with a minute. You're just not accustomed to it.
Now Montgomery on top, trying to keep Silverstein from standing up. Silverstein hasn't had an effective move since the second period, and he's just about to get pinned here unless he can get out of that half.
Well, they caught him trying to roll, just dropped into it.
A 5-0 lead for Montgomery of Lisbon. That just goes to show you, he was down 7-3 going into the last period of the regulation. And you said, Chuck, that he was a scrapper, and he made it up. Now, Silverstein had won all matches by falls coming into the finals. He had a 14-second fall, a 41-second fall, and then 118. He'd actually been on the mat less than Mark Simlinger.
He's been on there an awful long time right now. I'm sure that's what he thinks. This is going to be forever. So if he's going to get back into it, he's got to be able to put something together. And fatigue is a factor here. Got to have his head up in the air and clear his hips out from underneath.
Montgomery of Lisbon leads 5-0. He's been behind all the way through this match until the overtime. Until he tied it right at the end.